Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Elder Scrolls online video with me, Sherman. Today guys, we are taking a look at patch notes 4.3.2 for the PTS of Wrathstone and update 21, which are on PTS right now. So, these are PTS patch notes, just letting you know. There was a problem with them transferring the US characters over to, or not US, the PC-EU characters over, and it didn't happen. So this still is going to be PC North America characters, which is fine with me. But they also did the racial passive changes in this update, and we'll go over those. But first, let's go over some of this other stuff, starting with the Wrathstone dungeon fixes. So, in Frostvault, the general fix, you will no longer see the Skeeverton you are directed to follow teleport between the locations in the side halls of Frostvault. So, okay. Ice Stalker, the final hit from the Ice Stalker's frenzied pummeling now deals less damage on normal difficulty instead of one-shotting you. Hopefully, and it still won't one-shot you. It might. We'll see. The Vault Protector. The Vault Protector can no longer use Steel Cyclone on veteran difficulty. The Vault Protector will now correctly interrupt his channeled abilities should it need to shield itself. Stonekeeper. Monsters that are close to the edges of the Stonekeeper's platform will more reliably fall off after being the victim of a player knockback ability. So that's good. When entering the Skeeverton phase of the Stonekeeper encounter, the Skeeverton vent will not begin until at least one Skeeverton charges their ultimate ability to maximum, or a brief amount of time is allowed to pass. This will allow everyone to have a chance to review the Skeeverton abilities before the encounter begins. Thank you for fixing that. That was such a pain for people to figure out. I have not done it on veteran, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and a lot of people said that's the hardest thing, is trying to figure out the abilities of the Skeeverton. So this is a good fix right here. And the Scrapper Skeevertons will no longer appear to regenerate health. Alright? Depths of Malatar, Rizik, and Avalanche. Glacial Prison will now play appropriate effects when it dissipates, alright? And you will now be immune to Hellstorm for a brief period of time when resurrecting during this ability. Okay. Alright. Alright, so first change. Shadow Mundus. Increase the critical hit damage bonus to 13% from 9%. Note that this will still not affect critical healing, so the Shadow Mundus, it will increase your critical damage to 13% instead of 9%. That's a large increase. I think they just brought it back to where it was before they nerfed it. So, nice change, not gonna lie. How many people use it? Don't know. Dragon Knight. Spiked Armor. Fixed an issue where this ability and Swarms were not properly returning their damage dealt to attackers under certain circumstances. Okay. Sorcerer. Storm Calling. Summon Storm Atronach. Fixed an issue where the charged lightning synergy granted from this ability was not properly applying the major Berserk buff to the Atronach that granted it. Okay. They are just as angry as you are, and will now have the damage properly increased when they're mad. Alright, that's cool. Guild changes, or guild skill changes. Sigil Order, Time Stop. Increase the base cost of this ability to 8,100 from 4,590. Keep in mind that this is before the passive cost reduction from the skill line, or the passive cost reduction from your ability rank up. So, we'll see. 8,100 is a lot. Wow. Wow. I'm not even going to look at the developer notes on that. That's just wow. Alright. Moving on to the racial passive changes, guys. Spell Recharge. The return for this passive will now restore your lowest maximum resource rather than your highest. You will also increase the value from or we also increased the value to 645 from 525. So almost a little over 100, just a little over 100 more resources back, but it's going to be your lowest one. So if you're playing Magicka, you're going to get stamina back. If you're playing stamina, you're going to get Magicka back. Let's read the comments, because I'm kind of shaking my head here going, what? Like, that makes no sense. The main focus of high elves are their ability to deal high amounts of damage or healing with Magicka-based abilities. And this sustain passive was helping them stand ahead of too many other races that also deal heavily in Magicka-based abilities. We've shifted this over to a utility passive and slightly increased it. Huh? Okay. Argonian Life Mender increased in healing done by 6% from 4%. That's a nice increase, no offense. This is going to be really good for the Argonian. This is going to put them back in bracket of being a good healer. And not just a good healer, but also good group support with the fact of healing. So, that's really good. Resourceful passive. Increase the health, magic, and stamina restored from drinking a potion of 4,000 from 3,620. I gotta read this. After the adjustments to allow flat stats to scale... Yeah, let's not even get into that yet. Because this is going to be affected by it. One Elf, Hunter's Eye. Reduce the movement speed granted to 10% from 20%. But added a bonus to physical and spell penetration of 1,500 for the duration. So this has a, like, I think it's like a 5-second or 3-second or something like that duration. And it's a 3-second duration. So for 3 seconds after you dodge roll, you get an extra 1,500 penetration. Plus 10% movement speed? Are you trying to break PvP? Like, really? Okay. Let's just see this. We heard your concerns of adding a highly powerful movement speed bonus tied to roll dodging, as well as performing of this passive in PvE versus PvP environments. We wanted players who are focused on damage to get a small boost out of the situation where they dodge attacks without adding more passive power to the race. Without adding more passive power to the race. Okay. Yeah. He really did it. Oh my god. Okay, first I want to say something. Don't get it at all. Don't understand it. Definitely don't understand it. Like, that in the comments, the developer comments. I'm really gonna have to mess around with this now. You just gave my tank 1,500 extra pen. Like, really? Spell Atonement. The spell resistance granted by this effect will now be doubled if you are afflicted with burning, chilled, or concussed. Alright, let's read the spoilers. While Bretons have been brought up to speed with other races with our first round of changes, we still felt the story of or unique element was to be missing. We added a contextual flavor bonus on their spell attunement passive to help highlight their ability to shrug off magical attacks. Dark Elves, dynamic. Increased magic and stamina granted to 1875 from 1250. There's no words. Remove the health bonus from this passive. Spoilers. Previously, adjustments to Dark Elves deviated a little too far from their original implementations, and we noticed we can still highlight the race's identity by of duality in blade and magic without their max health, so we removed it in place of returning the power to the other flat stats. You guys remember what High Elf is? It's 2,000. Imperial, Red Diamond. Rework this passive so when you deal direct damage now, you restore 333 health, magic, and stamina. This effect has a 5-second cooldown, and it also still will reduce the cost of block and bash by 5%. Let's just see. Previously, Red Diamond felt too restrictive for tanking builds, as there was a percentage chance on offensive attacks, which tanks typically only do. So you just basically turn them back into tanks. Good job. Lunar Blessing. Increased max health, magic, and stamina to 825 from 750. Feline Ambush. Reduce the reduction of your stealth radius to 3 meters from 5 meters. Okay. Robustness. Increase the magic and stamina recovery to 85 from 75. With the introduction of CP scaling with the flat stats of the races, we made sure to make some minor adjustments so Khajiit wouldn't fall behind the other races. The bonuses and the stealth radius was also slightly overtuned and allowed you to sneak too effectively. Now you shouldn't be able to sneak in the face of guards and wave unless you have heavily invested in sneaking with gear and other passives. Alright. Yeah, I'll get to the CP thing here soon, guys. Orcs. Brawny. This passive now grants 2,000 max stamina instead of 500 health and stamina. So now these guys have the same amount of stamina as a Wood Elf and a Red Guard. 2k. Remember this. Unflinching Rage. This passive now grants 1,000 max health and heals for up to 600 when you deal damage with a weapon with a 4-second cooldown. Previously, it granted 4% healing taken and 380 stamina and health when dealing damage with a weapon. So this is gone, and now they just get 600 health back, which will be affected by CP, by the way. And you get 1,000 max health. And they said they didn't want these guys to become tanks. They wanted to become, and I quote, identity of berserkers or shock troopers. Why give them 600 health on a hit, on damage with a weapon that can be affected by CP? Okay, I'm done. I'm just not even going to look at that. Martial Training. Added a bonus that reduces the effectiveness of snares applied to you by up to 15%. So, Red Guards get reduced cost of abilities, melee, the weapon abilities, 8% still. They still get the stamina return, and they still get the max stam, and on top of that, now they have reduced snares. Alright, spoilers. While we were reactively happy with the performance and identity of the Red Guard race, we noticed they lacked that unique flavor or story piece to their passive that helped add a little something different. Due to their training in battle and ability to flow in combat, we decided to help them retain some of their fluidity by granting a small reduction to snare potency. Yeah. Alright, so this is the champion point system change. Updated the calculation with your maximum health, magic, and stamina interacting with the modifiers to better reflect the 20% increase to these stats from your first 100 points spent into each tree of the champion point system. So if you didn't know, when you add 100 points to the warrior tree, the mage's tree, and the thief tree, once you have 100 points in each of them, you get a 20% increase to all your stats. Now before, it only took certain stats into consideration. Now it's going to take in your total amount of stats into consideration before the 20% gets applied. So, a high elf with a base, okay, no 20% increase from this, no 6% increase from Undaunted, just a base of 26,000 will now get a 20% increase to that 26,000, where before they were getting like 24,000 plus 2,000 added to it, which honestly worked a lot better in my opinion and kept the classes or the races more balanced against each other. This is going to inflate races, and those races with the 2,000 stamina are going to explode. Khajiit's still going to be at the bottom of the pool now because of this. So yeah, wonderful. Alright, Deadly Strikes. They fixed an issue where Deadly Strike weapons were coming. And it says right here, previously this 20% only applied to your base stats, attributes, enchantments, and 2 through 4 piece bonuses on item sets. After this change, all sources of flat stat increases will be affected. Consumable food, drinks, 5-piece bonuses from item sets, and passes will now properly be affected by the 20% increase. So anyone that's running, let's say, a set like the one that gives you a lot of max magicka, I don't remember what it's called, but when you have a pet out, it gives you even more. That's going to be affected now by that 20%. So you're going to get that extra chunk. That 4,000 that you get from Plague Doctors and Health is going to be affected by this. The 1,000 and something you get from the Ebon Armor is going to be affected by this. It didn't before. You just got the 1,000 extra health. Now it's actually going to be boosted by this 20%. This will inflate stats. I hope they realize this. I really hope they realize how bad this is going to be. My tank, my high elf tank, or my wood elf tank, is going to have over 30k health and over 30k stamina, and with a two-handed, where before I could only get to like 32k health with like a 28k stamina. So this is going to inflate my stats big time. Alright, going back to the Deadly Strikes, they fixed an issue where the weapons were coming from the offensive heavy armor box. Now it'll come from the medium armor box, and it won't drop in Bruma. It won't come from the Bruma merchant. You'll get it in the Valastrus. That's it. Valastrus. Home area or whatever it is, like farming place. Item sets. Fixed an issue where minor vulnerability debuff from these sets were being considered buffs rather than debuffs. These will now be able to be cleansed. The affected sets include Infallible Mage, Noble's Conquest, Scavenging Demise, and Wise Mage. I don't know why you would use these in PvP, but okay. Curse Eater, they updated this item set, so when you use a direct healing ability on a target, you remove 3 negative effects from them. If a negative effect was removed this way, you restore 600 magicka. This effect can occur once every 8 seconds. Alright, so not a bad change. It's not going to be OP, not like it was. It was really OP because it would just keep firing the 3 negative effects. Now it's only when you apply a direct heal. So like Breath of Life or your wall, your basically your healing wall thing, Combat Prayer, like that kind of stuff, things that do single target or single heal, like that's going to be the thing that they're talking about now, that's going to do this negative effect thing. So this is really cool. Icy Conjure, I'm not even going to look at the spoilers on that. Icy Conjure, this set now deals damage over 8 seconds rather than 4. This was done in effect, or in effort to reduce the burst damage potential of this set. The total DPS of your Icy Voice, why didn't you just say it was the Icy Ghost guy, will still be the same, or the Icy Wraith. So it's, the way this set worked is it would summon a Wraith that would go out and hit your target for 18k damage over 4 seconds. It would do a lot of damage. You could get this thing up to like 36k on a Warden, and it would do that damage over 4 seconds. So it was really burst heavy. Now, it's going to be over 8 seconds. So it's not going to be so effective. Like, it's still going to do a lot of damage, but it's not going to be so bursty. So you can still heal through some of it. So in PvP, this set's, you know, pretty much going to be where it was before. It's still OP, but we'll see what they do later on. Steadfast Hero, they fixed an issue where casting certain purge abilities could proc this item set without needing to remove a negative effect first. This set should only proc when a negative effect is properly removed from you with a purge ability you cast. So, alright. Symphony of Blades fixed an issue where this item set could proc on pets. Your pets are tireless and have no need for stamina or magic return. Thank you for fixing that. Zogvin's Warband. This set now generates 1 stack whenever you deal any critical damage rather than only critical light and heavy attacks. Wow. Whoa. Wait. So any direct damage I deal, I generate a stack? Holy mother. And they said they didn't want to bring this to be on par with, like, the, you know, Advancing Yodokai, but that's pretty dang close to doing that. Like, that made this set really good. Like, it's nowhere near as good as Advancing Yodokai, don't get me wrong, but this is going to be a really good... If you can get this set, now I would say get this set until you can get Advancing Yodokai. Like, that, there would be not much of a marginal difference, and now that it's whenever you deal critical damage, that's insane. That's nuts. Alright. Moving on, base game changes, achievements, updated keep capture achievement to clarify that it applies to both Cyrodiil keeps and Imperial City districts. Alright. Alright, they changed some stuff with the zone guide. Yeah. Mac client fixed an issue where game client crashed. Okay. Let's see. Gamepad. Yep. Yay, they fixed it. Roll dodge. Guild traders, yep. Alright, here's something for you guys that are going to be testing the red diamond ability on the Imperial. Right now, for some reason, it says under most situations it will not return magic or stamina. And it's going to be fixed in a future PTS patch. So... right now, it looks like it's only giving health back, the 333 health. Some summon pets are currently unable to inherit bonuses that require specific conditions to be met from their owners. Ancient Knowledge or Necromancy item set. Necropins. That's the set. Necropins item set. So, wow. And that's it for the changes. So, I mean... I can say, like, this, honestly, like, I don't get the high elf change. I really don't. I think that's a really unusual change. Like, that really does make you go, huh? Like, why put the negative spin on it? Like, I don't get it. And then the wood elf thing, like, giving them extra physical and spell penetration when they dodge roll for 3 seconds, and then saying that you didn't want them to get it. We wanted players who are focused on damage to get a small boost out of this in situations where they dodge attacks without adding more passive powers to the race. But that's exactly what they did. They took away some passive power, the 20%, and gave them more passive power for when they dodge roll. So it's kind of like, it doesn't make sense. The Breton thing, that sounds really cool. Again, don't know how well it's going to work because that's burning, chilled, and concussed. in PvE, burning children concussed does happen, but not as often as it does in PvE or PvP. So in PvP, a burning shield concussed, that's great. In PvE, eh. The Dark Elf change, that's... wow. That's all I can say. I can't say anything else. That's a lot of extra stats. And the fact they did take that 500 max health off, like, that's gonna still make them good DPS, but, like, that's about it. They're gonna be good at DPS, magic and stamina. Like, they can still tank, and this is gonna be bonus to them for tanking, because they are gonna get that extra max magic and stamina, but they're also gonna get extra weapon and spell damage. So that's gonna make them really good. I would say better off tanks than main tanks, but they could still main tank, but, like, because of the damage bonuses and stuff, like, that's gonna be really good for them. Imperials, I honestly don't know how I feel about Red Diamond. Like, they still get the block and bash cost reduction. I think that's cool. The return thing, like, whenever you deal direct damage, like, okay. I don't know why they needed it, but okay. Like, honestly, I thought it was fine with what they had. But this change doesn't really make them better. Like, in my opinion, it doesn't make them any better. Like, yeah, ooh, I got better chance of sustain now when I play a DPS. That's about it. The change to Khajiit, I'll have to test. But 825 from 750, like, this is so small compared to what you give out all the other races. Like, all the other races get so much more. Like, even Argonian gets 1,000 health and 1,000 magicka. And these guys are getting a 750 to everything. Or 825 to everything. This makes them the most well-balanced race overall. Because they get everything. And then they get the 8% crit to spell and physical. But they don't get the extra weapon damage. So is this going to put them on par with the other races? Or is this just going to make them... Because I really feel like this is not going to make them very good. Because now, these stat bonuses that we get are affected by the percentage increases. Those races that get 2K or 1825 are going to... getting so much more than the Khajiit in stats that I feel like it's going to weigh them down. I'll find out when I get on PTS though. Orcs, I honestly don't know how I feel about this. I really don't, because it's such an odd thing. Like, hey, we're gonna give them extra max stamina and extra max health, and we're gonna give them a heal whenever they deal damage. Like, okay. I would have much rather kept the 4% healing taken and this stamina health thing on damage. Like, I would have much rather kept that. I mean, give me the 2K stamina, give me the 1,000 health. But leave it the way it was. Because you really are taking their distinctiveness away, in my opinion. But, I mean, I gotta test all this. I can sit here and just look at it and give you my opinion. But my opinion is gonna vary, because until I test it and see how this really does affect you, I can't really say. The thing with Redgar, I don't even care. Like, I think this is some kind of joke, honestly. Like, ooh, you're just making them even better. They were already a really good race. Why'd you have to make them even better? Should have given them some kind of flaw. Oh, they can't be magic. No, but they get reduced cost in weapon abilities. And that applies to magic weapon abilities, so... including ultimates. So yeah, like I said, a lot of these changes don't make a lot of sense. And then a lot of the changes kind of just make you sit there and scratch your head. Like, what the hell were they thinking? Like the Argonian thing, the 6% healing done. Yeah, that's nice. I'm glad you did that. This, I really don't get it. Because if we're affected by champion points now, why would you increase how much we get? You're just going to increase it even more. Because it was 4,600. All you did was took 600 points away. It was so much better when you dropped it to 3620, and then when you add the benefits we get from CP, healing from those potions, the return from those potions, and all that other stuff, like, is going to be so much more now than what it would have been. And you're just putting them back to where they were. Except minus the health and stamina thing. I mean, the health and magicka thing is going to be better for them. Because now they get that 20% increase. So it's like, okay, now we're going to be better, but I don't know. I got to get on PTS and check this stuff out. Honestly, until, like you said, until there's testing done, I can't really say anything, but I do think that the inflation of the racials through the 20% is going to be it's going to be the turning point. It's going to be the thing that determines now, like, is this build going to be good for me when I play this particular race? Because I only have X amount of stamina versus this build that has this much more stamina. Even though this build has more crit, this one has the same, like, just a little bit less crit with more stamina. And it's going to be better for me because of that. Like that's the things people are going to be looking at, and they're going to be like, oh, well, you know what? And it's going to be like, no, it shouldn't be that way. It should work this way instead of this way. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I already can feel like we're going to have too much in stats. Because I'm going to get on PTS, like I said, and I'm going to check all my characters. And I can promise you, my Templar tank is going to go through the roof in health. She's already at 30k base. Like 30k without a whole bunch of boosted stuff. Now you're going to add that 20% to the food I use. The extra health that the set gives me, that I use Plague Doctors. And all the other bonuses. And then I get 2k stamina on top of that? Are you nuts? Sorry, I like I said, I will get on PTS and I will find out. But if I'm sitting at like 40k health all of a sudden, I'm just gonna log off and go to the forums and be like, yeah, you guys did too much with the health. Like, that's way too much. We already get, like, if you're wearing heavy armor, you got to remember, you're also getting another 10% bonus. So you get 10% for wearing heavy armor, 20% for wearing from CP. So that's 30%. Then you add the Undaunted passive, which is 6%. That's 36% increase in max health. And this one stat that wasn't added to that bonus before is now added to that bonus. Like, I just got a flat 4,000 before. Now that 4,000 is going to be multiplied by this 36%. Hey, are you trying to make my character superpowered? Plague Doctors, the new meta. Jesus Christ. No offense. I know it won't be. Ebon Armor will always be the meta, but I'm just saying, like, that's the way you got to look at it. Because, look at the benefit. Okay, so I can give my allies 1,000 extra health, which is applied to that 20%, which is nice. But, at the same time, I could give myself 4,000, which is applied by that 20%. Which one would you take? It's like... Sorry, I could go on, guys, but I think that's enough. I think I discussed this just enough. Until, like I said, until we get on PTS and people start testing things, we can't really say. Like, we can be negative, and that's about it. And I do feel like these were negative changes. I think the CP thing was negative. I really think it was negative. That should have never been applied to that majority of stuff. Like, oh my god. It's gonna be ridiculous. Because think about this now. Advancing Yodokai will now be like mega top set. Because that 1,000 and something crit chance, right, that you get from it, if there's any way that you can amplify your crit any higher, like, there you go. Have more. May as well just start using the Thief Stone with it. Or the Shadow Mundus. Oh my god. Alright, enough about this. Gotta check this stuff out. Gotta see what's going on. For now, I'm gonna leave you guys with what I have, like, my thoughts on it. And that's, what? Literally, like, what? Because I don't get it. I don't know why you'd want to inflate stats that much. I mean, that's what they were trying to stop, was the inflation of stats. Now they've just done it. Okay. That was brilliant. Sorry, I'm done. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So, you guys know what's going to happen next. If you guys like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys want to see more videos by me, you can subscribe. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a wonderful day. And this guy might see you in-game. Bye.